ओके सो हाय एवरीवन। थंबनेल देख के तो वीडियो का अंदाज़ा हो चुका होगा कि मैं किस बारे में बात करने वाला हूँ। एंड दिस वीडियो इज़ अबाउट हाउ टू गेट अ रिमोट जॉब इन 2025। तो आपने देखा होगा कि जनरली इस टाइम पर काफ़ी सारे लोग रिमोट जॉब के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं और रिमोट जॉब ले रहे हैं। आई मीन लाइक लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स आर posting their pictures, posting their offer letters from a remote company, from a remote job. Either they are getting 70K, 50K, or maybe 100K per annum. 100K is about 70 lakhs per annum. और वो freshers हैं, right? You have seen those posts, right? But those people are not too much. They are just like around countable. I mean, like you can count them on fingers as well. But ऐसे भी कुछ लोग हैं. And I got a remote job as well. So आज तो मैं बताने वाला हूँ कि how to get a remote job in 2025 using few simple steps which a lot of people are not doing, and if they are doing, they are not doing in a correct way. तो पहले बात करते हैं. The one thing which always remote jobs is requiring is something a great development skills. अगर आपकी डेवलपमेंट स्किल्स और अगर आपकी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग स्किल्स बहुत अच्छी है तो आप एक रिमोट जॉब ले सकते हो. अगर मान लो नहीं भी अच्छी है तो भी आप किसी एक स्पेसिफिक चीज़ में बहुत अच्छे होने चाहिए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आप गोलैंग पे काम कर रहे हो, यू शुड बी सो गुड इन गोलैंग दैट एनी वन कैन रीच आउट टू यू फॉर देयर कंपनी कि ओके वी आर हैविंग एन ओपनिंग, कैन यू प्लीज ज्वाइन अस, बिकॉज दीज थिंग्स हैपन इफ यू पोस्टिंग वर्क, if you're posting about your work. Okay, now let's come to the other point कि first of all you have to be very proficient with the knowledge, very proficient with your skills, and very proficient with your tech stack, whatever you're working on. Okay, now comes to the second part is build in public. Build in public is one of the most important skill which people are lacking nowadays, and whosoever is using it, they are making a lot of it using that. Because देखो होता क्या है, generally recruiters right now and even startup founders are right now very good in brand creating. They are having their own personal brand and they are promoting the product from themselves. They are not having a marketing team, right? So basically they are the people who are actively seeing the profiles of candidates on internet as well. For example Twitter, for example LinkedIn, for example Instagram as well, right? And I've seen a lot of people, a lot of peers of like in my network only, who are keep on posting their work, keep on posting their projects and getting feedbacks on Twitter or LinkedIn, and they are getting reached out by a lot of companies. It happened with me as well. I was reached out with a company named as Save Biking in 2023 when I was a full-time employee at JustPay, and that company was paying me. That company was offered me to pay 35 euros per month, which is a pretty good offer. I mean, like, but I turned that down because the reason is they offered me in a way that okay, for the first 3 months they won't be paying me. They will be paying me in terms of stakes. So I was not in trustworthy, but yeah, the interviews were good, the offer was good, so people can do it and people are doing it. So the second point is build in public. Always whenever you are doing something, whenever you are making a project, whenever you are creating something, whenever you are shipping something, always try to speak out loud. Always try to post it somewhere where people can know about you, where people can know about your product and your project. Okay, because this way you will find out more like-minded peoples who are thinking just like you. You maybe find your co-founder there, you maybe found your someone who is a senior to you and they can refer you to somewhere, right? So these things happen when you start posting your work, when you are building in public. Okay, now the third pointer. So the third pointer is something which has already been there in the past like 5-10 years. It's been growing, but people are still not using it rapidly. The thing is open source. Open source is one of the most amazing thing right now people are having. For example, if I'm owning a company, right? And if I post one of my issues, one of my product issues in public, and somebody was able to solve it and give me a legitimate solution of it, right? Then why would I waste my time to hire someone else if I already know that this guy know my product, even though with a half of knowledge he solved this problem and it is working, right? So open source is a really good way to gain the attention of the founders, gain the attention of the HRs, gain the attention of the engineering leaders. Because when you contribute to a company, you're not just contributing to a company or you're not just creating a PR, you are basically contributing to a product, fixing their issue. Be it a small issue, be it a big issue, but you're at least knowing the product without even working there. So this is some kind of edge which you can get if you contributed to the product. For example, if I'm hiring two candidates and there are two candidates on my table, and if one candidate has already been contributing to my product from the past 1 year or 6 months, I know that this guy already know my product and I don't have to spend a lot of time to teach him, right? he already knows the product. And the other hand, this guy is good, but he doesn't have the prior knowledge of the product. So I would always be slightly biased for this guy, right? So these things happen, and these things are getting known by a lot of people. So people are contributing to open source and they're getting offers from that as well. So GSOC is one of the thing. There are a lot of open source groups are there on Twitter, on Discord. You can join them and get to know about more and more peoples. So the third thing is open source contribution. Now let's come to the fourth part, choosing the right sites to apply. A lot of people search remote jobs on LinkedIn, which is a good resource but not a very good resource for finding remote jobs. LinkedIn right now it's really filled with a lot of people who are fake, filled with a lot of HRs who are fake, filled with a lot of people who are posting some random openings. Okay, let me be clear. You can, if you are trying for a remote job, always try to go with well found, because well found you will see recent and decent openings posted by leaders, posted by engineering managers from the known startup, right? So you can apply from well found. Well found is one of the best site I've ever been through, using all these sites in the past 6 months, in the past 6 years, right? Now let's come to the point once again, that so these are the fourth point. Now let's come to the fifth point, which is don't try to apply directly. Now it comes to the again the same point. Whenever you are trying to apply for a remote job or any other job, always try to make sure to have a cold email ready for that, because cold emailing is the best way to reach out to the foreign companies, because in this way you basically give them a plenty of time to go through your email, go to your resume, and email sounds a bit kind of a like a better way of reaching out to someone, right? People are sending hi, hello, hey messages to founders as well. I've seen them. Like I've met a CTO in an event, and he just showed me a DM of Indian people, and they're just commenting like, please give me a job, or hey, hi, hello. And he told me like there's a lot of issues which he have faced while hiring Indian people, and he have directly hired one Indian person who was my friend in my school time, and that guy is working there right now as well as tech lead. So the thing is like that guy was a contributor there. It was a company name as Dark Horse, right? And the guy I'm talking about is Ashutosh Tripathi. He is one of my friend. So basically this is how things are going on, and you can leverage your skills, leverage these simple things using just following small steps. For example, cold email, for example, building in public, for example, creating a good network, for example, contributing in open source, and cold emailing, right? So these are just 5 pointers which you can use and utilize for yourself so that you can land a good remote job. If you're having any issues while finding emails or finding any prompt to write an email, or maybe finding right sites where to apply, just check out my description. I'm updating every detail which is required for getting a remote job in 2025, and you will get your answers there. But if you're still having a lot of questions, or if you're having any different question, you can just either comment or DM me over LinkedIn or Instagram, whatever you feel. Bye bye. Thank you.